I think everyone should work in hospitality for at least a year. It builds confidence, it builds character. It stresses you the F out. But it also gives you appreciation for that person serving you on a Saturday night, the ones who are almost crying, shaking because they haven't eaten or sat down in 9 hours. I've been there. I've cried and had anxiety attacks on shift more than I'd like to admit. And I said I was going to quit so many times, but I kept going back. I've been a waitress for 4 years and in 4 different restaurants, and each place is tackling mental health issues differently. But with almost 60% of hospitality workers suffering from mental health and depression, clearly not enough is being done. But I've met someone who's doing things a little differently.
Hi, I'm Julie. I own Julie's Coffee Tiam, which is a small Malaysian restaurant in Glasgow. It's quite like a sad statistic to hear because you obviously see, you can see where it's come from, because the hours in hospitality are not the best for kind of social life. When you feel, I guess, maybe a bit out of sorts finishing work at say 11:30 at night and everyone's kind of already had their dinner and you're like, okay, well, I'm going to get the kind of closest takeaway. So you can see where that comes from. I have also got a really kind of strong ethic for making sure that our staff are kind of well looked after, that there's not that same kind of shouty mentality that you get in kitchens quite a lot. I think when I started off in kitchens, I was potentially a bit naive to how kind of high pressure it could be. It was amazing learning so fast, and it was also really daunting being kind of subject to maybe some aggressive moments, but then also it was mixed with like that creative determination from other chefs actually. So it was such a mix of chefs who maybe were again quite angry, but also some who are super inspirational, who got lots of hard work done. It also made me learn exactly how I wanted to run a kitchen, and that was really important for me the whole way through, because the restaurant that I run is all about food and the love of food and kind of sharing it as like you're in someone's living room. So to have that kind of traditional shouty kitchen in the background just would have never worked for that experience. So I had to be really careful about how we would hire people in the beginning and just set like a strong ethos straight away. I'll always try and constantly search for ways that we can talk to staff and improve the way that we are as a team with everyone, improve the way that the manager is with the staff and how I am with the staff.
So what do you do to help your staff cope with their mental well-being, mental illnesses, if they have any?
Again, this is from the kind of manager's level, where there is quite a lot of, I guess, young entrepreneurs going into the food industry now, and not a lot of us have been trained, myself also not, but I think it's really important to learn from experience. So if, say for example, there has been an issue from, I guess, somebody having poor mental health at some point, you need to look at the way that that's dealt with and make sure that it's always something that you strive to do better on, that you help other people and maybe prevent that before it happens and give people maybe some extra time off. We try and make sure that there's only people working, say, a 4-day working week, especially if you're working long hours, and it just means that people have got a life outside work, because when you are working those kind of unsociable hours, it can feel that that's your life.
The discussion to cut down to a 4-day working week is happening more and more frequently in a range of different industries. Julie's restaurant is just one example of how it can work in the food and drink industry. And with more restaurants doing it, the issue of staff's mental well-being and mental health will finally come into the focus and hopefully change for the better.